Hey everybody, it's Uzi from the Option Selling Institute. And in this week's video, we're going to go over a near perfect broken wing butterfly that we used on Tesla this past week. We closed it in two parts, and we're going to go over the mechanics of the trade as well. Then we're going to go over some of the rest of the results from the reaction in the room this week, and go over a couple of trades that are currently open in the account. All right, let's get right into some of last week's action. Let's start on the far right, and we will see the summary, and we can see that we closed 9 trades for the week. All of the closed trades were winners. We rolled 2 trades, which one of them we're going to go over later on, and we opened 4 new trades that are out there now with some distant expirations and a couple that are closer. And we had some new members join the team again, and we're always happy to welcome new members. Looking to the far left, you can see the closed regular trades up top, and then you have the closed earnings trades at the bottom. You can see all of the earnings trades we traded last week were 100% winners for the capture of the premium. We let them all expire, and yeah, I mean, we're very choosy with our earnings trades. They have to pass the scrutiny that I put them through on the analysis, and this is the kind of results that you get. You get 100% premium capture winners. Um, we also were able to let the square covered calls expire, 100% profit on those that we did. I'm going to talk about the broken wing butterfly in a minute. We had ABGO. We were in for 3 hours. We took 62% out of that put spread. The semis took a beating last week, and we should see a tradable bounce next week. Let's see how that goes. We also closed a trade we were in for 32 days. One of the longest trades we've been in a bit, but we took 84% out of that one. And we also had a naked put on ENPH, which we closed for 63%. So real solid numbers again this week. Again, no losing trades this week. We did roll 2 for additional credits, and we're going to talk about in a moment. We still have our live cattle trade open. We're going to talk about that in a minute. We have some other positions here, NEM, IBM, the Crocs, and we have the copper strangle that's still working. Some new opens that we did was ALB puts, an AVGO call butterfly. So we're betting on a move up within the next 2 weeks of Avago. Also in Crocs, we did a risk reversal. That'll be another topic for another day. We're basically betting on a reversal of the recent move. And we also did a naked put on Avago, a distant expiration. All right, let's get right into the first trade that we want to talk about, which is the broken wing butterfly, and that was on our friend Tesla. Now, no pun intended, or maybe pun intended, but the trade was basically expecting Tesla to run out of gas. And as we all know, Teslas don't run on gas. But in this case, it actually did run out of gas because it did the perfect move that we were hoping for. And let's talk about the setup. So the setup was that Tesla had been moving up pretty sharply since the U.S. elections when, of course, Trump won. And of course, now Elon Musk is going to be part of the cabinet. And that could bode well for, obviously, Tesla's stock. So it did. And again, we felt the price might go a little higher, okay, but not too much higher. So the bet was that the price could go a little higher and then pull back. We entered a broken wing call butterfly with a ratio, and I'll go over that in a moment. And we bought this, but when you buy it with the ratio we utilized, you get a credit. And that's the key to this whole trade, is we bought something and we got a credit. You might say, Jim, how does that work? Uzi, how does that work? I'm going to show you how that works, and it's pretty cool. So this was the chart of Tesla when we put the trade on. And as you can see, let me show you right here. We entered this day right here. Now, this is the results from the election. Stock gapped up small over here a little bit that day, and then a massive gap up from about, let's say, the 250 to the 280 range, 30-point move. The next day, it had another high percentage move, and you can see it had a wider body candle. Okay, you can also see that on this particular day, the day we got into the trade, the volume on that day was much lower than the breakout here on the gap up, this gap up. So I felt by the way it was looking, that it's going to go up a little bit higher. Maybe we might have another day or two of volume, and we got that, and it's going to run out of gas. So we entered on this day. Okay, I'm going to go over what the actual trade strikes were and everything. But as you can see, it ran up and then it ran out of gas. And what we did is we exited on this day here. Once it showed its signs that it was not going to be continuing higher, we closed out of one portion of the trade. We waited another 2 days, and we were able to close the other part of the trade for another huge percentage profit. And we actually it was an unofficial trade, but I posted to our members, hey, let's take this reversal trade. We actually bought long puts. We bought the 320 strike puts 2 weeks out. So we still have 2 weeks. We have till the 29th of November for Tesla to begin to continue its move, pulling back. We're already in profit though. We do have the 320 strike, but because of the fact that it's made this quick move down, we are in profit, even though we're closed at 320-ish area. All right. This dotted line area is the area that we sold our short calls, pardon me. And I'm going to go over that with you guys right now. So here is what the trade looks like on a chart. So we entered based on some Fibonacci's I like to look at, and we use some extensions. So we bought some calls, and then we sold the 337s, and then we bought higher up calls to protect us. Now, as you can see, the stock, and again, this is the short strike here, 337, which was just below the 340 area. It shot up, and it did look like it could very well continue. It did have some good volume, but the analysis suggested that, even if it did go higher, we had enough time for it to do a pullback and let us take some profits, and that's exactly what it did. Let's go over the math behind the trade and show you what the actual strikes were and such. So it's called a broken wing butterfly, and it was a 132. If you look up at the top here, you can see what we did was we bought the 335 call, we sold the 337.5 calls, and we bought the 345 calls for protection. Now, looking to the left over here, though, you can see the ratio. We bought 335, we sold 337 and a half, and then we bought for protection the 345s. Now, the difference between 335 and 337 is obviously 2.5, and then the difference between here and here is 7.5. So that's where the difference is. The area that we bought was closer than the area that we sold, and that creates a 63-cent credit per contract. So if you only did one of these, you brought in $63. If you did 10 of these, you brought in $630, and you can do the math yourself. Here's what it does look like: 333, 335, 337, 345 for the credit. Now, we exited in two pieces. And I showed you on the chart before, when the stock had run out of gas, it fell below the short strikes of the 337s. And as soon as it did that, I wanted to take advantage of the fact that we owned the long 335 call. So we sold the 335 by 337 embedded. It was an embedded call debit spread, which cost us 17 cents, because if you do the math up here, 150 is what we paid for the 335s. Okay, subtract the 133 that we got when we sold the 337. So if you do one contract each, 150 minus 133 is 17 cents, and we sold them for 105, $1.05. So do the math, and you get 617% on that portion of the trade alone. Keep in mind, we took in 63 cents for the whole trade when we opened it. So on top of it all, we then sold we then bought to cover we bought to close, I should say, the 337.5, 345s, and we paid 30 cents. We received 63 cents, and that's a net of 52% when everything was said and done. And you can see the confirmations are all right here. Again, everything is transparent in our Discord. There's no pulling strings behind the curtain. This is all legitimate stuff. So yeah, I mean, you could have gotten a little bit better if you would have been able to close this 335, 337 embedded long call spread for the full value of 250. But we closed it for $1.05 as the stock was moving down. So again, not much better results if you could have planned it. Although max profit would have been if the stock would have sat steady at 337. That's the sweet spot. But I can't complain. We did very well on this particular trade, and we're going to do more of these broken wing butterflies in the future. When they work great. And even if it doesn't work, even if the stock didn't run up into that trap area of 337 and just stuck around, let's say 320 or 315, we still took in 63 cents, $63 per contract. So we would have been able to let that just expire for full 100% right there. So either way, it's a great trade. Stock can go up a little, stock can go up a lot. As long as it pulls back below your strikes, you're good. We always have the ability to close the call debit spread and roll the 337, 345s if we have to. But in this case, it worked out pretty much picture perfect. All right. All right. Let's talk about a stock, though, that's not acting well for us. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't share some of the difficult trades, right? And I usually don't share any because there haven't been many. But now we have one, right? So we have Crocs. And Crocs, as you can see here, we traded it for earnings. And we did, I believe it was a strangle. We were good on the call side because obviously you could see it just gapped down like crazy. And it hasn't really had a meaningful bounce for us to get out of our short puts. So we've been rolling them. And that's one of the tools. And that's why you see weapons in my logo is we have weapons at our disposal as options traders. We have weapons to alleviate the pain of a trade that's going against you without closing it for a loss. You can roll it, which, yes, it realizes a loss, but we're opening up the new put when we roll for a new credit. So until we close these and throw in the towel, we're working on making this trade profitable. And what I want to show you in this particular chart is we had a head and shoulders top leading up to earnings. Again, the strikes that we used were pretty good, but we have some massive selling now in Crocs. They had some bad news with their Hey Dude brand, and that's putting pressure on the shares. So long story short, I've done some tech TA on this chart, and we're in a decent spot here. We've got some diagonal support from previous price levels, from some time ago, months ago. We're approaching that area now, and we're also approaching and have approached the area of a tactic I use when in relation to head and shoulder tops, equal move ratios. And this is the area where we should see a meaningful bounce any day now. And that hopefully will be able to let us get out of our short puts all at once, or we may have to wait a little bit as it starts to trend higher. This could be the reversal point here. So we're going to be watching this real closely this upcoming week to add to our positions, get aggressive, and then maybe get out on that first bounce and not have to sit and wait as it tries to meander along a new uptrend until it figures out what it's going to do toward its next earnings release. All right. So again, we want to keep everything on the table. We don't just share all of our winners. The only thing that we've been sharing is winners because that's really all we've been having. So this is one of the trades giving us trouble. And let's see how this works out down the road. We will readdress this down the road when hopefully we have something positive to talk about. Another trade where we are currently in is the live cattle futures. And I want to show you this. Did I cut it off? Yeah, I cut it off by accident. Well, you can imagine this is a strangle we have on with the lower boundary at 170 and the upper boundary, I'd have to look it up. I believe it's 380 or 320. I'm sorry, I think it's 320. So price can go all the way up to the threes and all the way down to 170. And we are good in this triangle with about, if my memory serves me, I think it's about 12 days to go. And we're currently sitting right on the 200-day moving average. Now, this might break. It might break the 200-day moving average and want to test this horizontal trend line from starting in this point over here and running along here. And even if so, we still have a huge cushion down to the 170 area with about a dozen or so days to go. So it would take something terrible for this to get challenged and on the downside. And the upside is already basically so far away. I think we could already close this, but we've just left it open to let it expire. All right, that's another trade that we have open. So going over some of these other trades we had open. All right. I want to go over another member review for you. Again, we get reviews every now and then, and it's always nice to see what our members have to say. This is a member. This is about a month ago, and he or she says that we have an excellent community, meaning Discord. Uzi's got the ability to find winning trades. Thank you very much. And that the alerts are easy to read and implement. He's been in the group for about a month. I think it's about more like 2 months by this point. And he or she will continue to stay in the group. The earnings trades are top notch. Thank you for that. He or she highly recommends it if you want steady growth, and that I'm always reachable for any of your questions. And I'm a nice person, and I am. And I try to be there for all my members. They have questions at sometimes late at night. If I'm up here and I'm here and we're able to help, I do. That's what it's all about, right? That's why I'm here. I'm not, I'm not here for anything other than to help my members and to make them profitable, and that's what they are. So praise the good Lord for all that. So if these are the type of trades that you guys would like to be part of, the type of community where we have a lot of upbeat members, everyone's there positive attitudes every day, everyone's there trying to help. You have questions, you have little fun things you want to talk about during the day to keep us occupied. It's a great community, real great community. No, there is no dumb questions in my book. Any question is an important question, so they always get answered. You can always hit me up, and you can't beat the member reviews we're getting. We have a 5-star. All we have is all 5-star reviews. So we're doing something right. The members are doing great. They're making money, and we deal with the 1 or 2 problem child trades we have, and we're going to turn them around and make them profitable. So with that said, please leave a comment. Give me a like if you don't mind. It helps me promote the channel a little bit. So comments, likes, and subscribe. This way you guys can be alerted when I put out a new video each week. I might start doing some shorts. I've been getting some requests to get more active, make some more stuff. So maybe I'll throw a couple of shorts out there here and there. But other than that, this is Uzi. I'll see you guys during the week. All right, stay lean. Watch the market this week. We might have a little bit of a little more selling going on, but plenty of opportunities out there to make a lot of money if you just you just don't get too crazy and get greedy. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one, everybody.